What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 20th day of February. Yes, the 20th. Here we are, sitting at $67.1 thousand, with roughly 10 and a half hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, my friends. So here we are. Yesterday, the price action basically went as forecasted, right? Yesterday, whenever I made my video, I think we were literally like right at these prices. We called for, I called for a quick stab down and then recovery going into the end of the day. I didn't think that it would be this quick. I didn't think it'd be this minimal, but ultimately we were just expecting a lower low here and then something that would move up and provide a lower high here. However, we went a little bit higher. We actually did something that was a little bit more bullish than anticipated. We had a little bit of volume come in, but not too much. Volume died off as we continued, and now we're moving down more aggressively, it seems. Technically, what we put in overall was a lower high, and even from, I think, this high, it was still a lower high. Yeah, still a lower high there. But still a little bit of a good move off of yesterday's lows at 65.7K. Looking at this now, I'm still under the impression that Bitcoin is working its way down here. The reason why, I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen a few times. I've been in crypto since 2015. And typically, and this doesn't mean that it always happens. Okay, you have to keep your wits about you. We have to look at the information as it comes. But typically, you don't just move down aggressively and then wherever you like kind of stop and consolidate that's your low. That's not typical, right? That's what we did last time. We moved down aggressively and then that low was our low. We had higher lows throughout the whole thing, and then we had this overall consolidation phase. Then we broke down, but that's not typical. That's genuinely not typical, right? Aggressive move down. Here's the beginning of your consolidation phase. Was that aggressive move the low? No, you went lower, and then you started your consolidation. And I mean, not even then. You were already in your consolidation phase, but you still went lower, right? Let's just see. Same thing here, right? You're moving down aggressively. Was that your low? No, it was here. Was that your low? No, this was here, right? And this was overall part of one large consolidation phase. Same thing here, right? Aggressive move down. Was that your low? No. You had an aggressive move up too, and you still moved down lower, and you still moved down lower, right? And yet, in these lower movements down, you're still in a consolidation phase. Same thing here. Aggressive move down. Was that your low? No, you had a lower low, right? Aggressive move down here. I mean, maybe this was your perceived low, and then you went lower here. But I would say overall, this was kind of that one-off where you did go a little bit lower, but you didn't find a lower low afterwards. It doesn't happen all the time, and it's not a guarantee. This in itself is not a way to like base your analysis, but typically with Bitcoin, when we see movements like this, that in itself is not the standalone low. This is a moment to trap people who are waiting to see if this low holds, quote unquote, by time, so they get in at these higher prices. Then the price will dump down, and what this dump does is it tests you. It tests all the people who bought up here. How convinced are you? How much conviction do you have? Because if you have no conviction, you're probably going to buy at the high and you're going to sell at the low, which is exactly what the market makers want you to do. That's how they make their bread. That's how they make money. It's called making bread here, right? And they're going to test you. If you hold, if you persevere, if you bought here, that's not a problem. But if you bought here and you sell here, that's a problem. You buy, it goes down, tests you, and then we'll probably come up, and we likely will see even higher prices than what we saw back here, throwing off everybody completely. But anyways, that's further down the line. I expect you guys, I really expect, and I think a lot of people right now on both sides of the aisle, for the bulls, for the bears, what I'm getting is a lot of people are expecting a big move up above 100K or 80K. I say a lot of people, not most people really, but the bull case is like, we're going to move up now because we moved down so much, we're held down so much, we got to have an explosive move up here. And the bear case is, we're going to keep moving down, we're going to crash below 50K and lowers incoming right now. But the reality is none of that's going to happen. We're probably right now going to enter the longest consolidation phase of the bear market. From here, November 21st, we didn't break out until January 29th. So that was 2 months later, right? We just started consolidating here on the 6th of February, maybe the 5th of February. It's not even been a month, okay? So March will likely be boring, okay? The moments of excitement we get will just be on these short-term time frames where we barely break out of a range, but it doesn't matter because we're overall still in the same range. And we'll probably be in this range until April or May. Yeah, that's probably this will be the longest consolidation phase of the bear market right here. That's my expectation. So buckle up and get used to this range. I do expect, again, after we find a lower low, I do expect that we'll see higher highs. I'm not personally expecting that we get above this low, but that is possible. But overall, we're just going to be in this range, and it might be wide, it might be narrow like this, but I'm not too convinced of how broad the range will be. I'm more convinced of how long, in a sense of time, it will be. Okay. Anyways, looking at this on the short term, the 1 hour time frame. We're moving down rather aggressively right now, actually. Wow. We'll do a pop quiz, okay, class? All right, kids, get your pens and your laptops out. What is this called? This maneuver here called? Right? What is this called right now? As of now, actually, to be completely fair, this isn't what I was going to go with. Right now, it kind of looks like it's like a break, hook, and then go. It kind of looks like that, which could be really bullish. We'll look at the indicators and see if this is a bounce, but I wasn't expecting to be back testing this line like this. What I really think this is, I thought that we were already back in this range. What I really think this is, and I think as time goes on, it'll come out to provide that it's true, is that this is a bull trap. I think this is a bull trap. That's what this was here. It was a bull trap. And the trap has been set. I don't know. The people who bought the highs, they're going to have to cut their losses. Anybody who bought here, they're going to have to take their neutral zones. Maybe some people can take profits if they haven't already. But I think it was a bull trap. Let's look at the indicators and see if that's validated. 1 hour RSI. I mean, to be honest, the 1 hour RSI looks bearish as hell. Yeah, we got overbought. That's nice, but very short-lived. We're moving down way more aggressively. I don't know. The 1 hour RSI, the stochastics, the MACD. MACD kind of looks bullish here. There's prospects, man. There's prospects. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect whenever I lined this up that it would be right there. There is the potential that we could find support right here. I'm not calling for that personally. There's even a little bit of bullish divergence on your 15-minute time frame. A little bit, but I'm not calling for it personally, man. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at this, the RSI does look bearish. Again, you had a rejection in this area that you've been rejecting. You're living below the 50. You're getting oversold. You're not getting overbought. You had a higher high in your RSI while providing a lower high in your price. Hidden bearish divergence. I'm calling this a bull trap. Officially, that's when I said pop quiz class, what I was trying to get to is that this is a bull trap, right? This was a bull trap. This is still a bull trap, right? Hell, even this was a bull trap, right? And they're getting smaller. These traps are getting smaller. Look at how big that movement was. Look at how big that movement was. Look at how big this movement is. Unless it persists and keeps going. But I don't know about you guys. In this movement here, did we pull back like this for 2 4-hour candles in a row? Or what about here? Did we pull back like this? No, we didn't. So I really think that this is just overall a bull trap. It's a weaker reaction than what we saw last time at the same baseline. We're probably going to break through. And at this point, more people, I think, who bought up here or who were anticipating that the price would go higher, I think at this point, once we break through this, there will be more people who are accepting of this lower low price. Because again, the only voices in the space, think about being somebody who's wrong, right? You believe that the price is going to go up. You have no game plan for the price to go down at all. You're one of these people who believes we're about to rip back up to 80K or higher or somewhere around there, right? You believe that we're not going to go lower in these lows. And then you have no backup plan, no contingency. You're proven wrong. What's going to happen? You're going to go to the people who are screaming from the top of their lungs, the big loud voices in this space that we're going to go below this low. We're going to go down to 50K, 40K, whatever. Big dump mega crash is coming. And maybe it is. Maybe we do drop a lot. I don't think we will. I think we're going to consolidate more. I think we've already dropped a lot, guys. We dropped $30,000 from January 14th to February 6th. $30,000 in less than a month for Bitcoin. We haven't even been consolidating for a month. I don't think that we're going to drop a significant amount now. I think we have to, even in a bear market, you have to consolidate. Nothing moves in a straight line. And if it does, we're going to see some intense volatility coming back. I mean, man, if we were to drop all the way down like this, we're going to see some intense volatility, you guys. It's not that it can't happen. I doubt that it does happen. But that's I'm getting away from the point. The point is that the people who are bullish, they're going to start to panic because they don't have any contingency. So the only reality that they know is the loud voice, the bears, the ultra mega bears who are calling for a mega dump. It's going to cause panic. It's going to cause panic selling, capitulation, stuff like that. It's going to add to the selling pressure. I'm just saying once we get below these lows, likely there will be some added selling pressure. And if I'm correct, we should not go just below this low and then bounce back up, but really make a solid break through this low. Maybe we'll consolidate a little bit, whatever, and then see a slightly lower low, and then that's whenever we begin to trek higher. I don't know how it's going to look later. You know, this is all just guessing at best, but for now, my expectation is once we get this low taken out, these lows taken out, there will be capitulation in the markets, and we will probably see a sudden shift back down to these areas, if not lower. There is a chance. There is a chance that we could find support somewhere around 61, 62K. It's possible. But I'm sticking with the idea that we go down to about 58.8K, if I'm not mistaken, to 54K at the lowest, somewhere in that range. The reason why I say 58.8K is because we take this low to this high, our extension, our 2618 is right there at 58.8K. And that would make sense, right? It makes sense here to go to this 1272 to the 1618. It makes sense to go to this zone for me, but it also makes sense to go to this zone to the 2618 because we could see a slightly lower low. That makes max capitulation. People capitulate all over the place. They're starting to freak out. Okay, we really are going lower. The mega bears are right. People are panicking. The weak hands get shaken out, and then we move up. It's classic, right? It's just like here, whenever people were waiting for a breakout, well, once you got it, that's whenever the dump began. You know, that's how it's been this whole time. So calling the same thing, but to the opposite effect here. Looking at the 4-hour indicators, bearish on the RSI, bearish on the stochastics, rejecting the overbought zone. That's not good, bro. Come on now. And then the MACD, not looking good either. Not looking good at all. Daily time frame. Looking at this, the RSI is weaker than a soft speaker. I don't know. Weak, bro. Very, very weak. Not looking good at all. Stochastics rejecting the 50, and the MACD's bearish beyond all belief. So I'm not really too impressed with this right now. Yeah, I think we're moving lower, guys. Wow, did we just reject hard? We rejected hard this hour. We were at literally 60. We were just up here. What happened? When did we start? We just started dropping. That's what it is. Well, we're on the right side of the ball at least. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. When I woke up, this thing was green. Now it's red. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. We're expecting lower prices. Again, I'm personally expecting 58.8K, a slightly lower low, to potentially something as low as like 54K. Okay, that little box. Yes, we're going to see a lower low. It's not going to be that much lower, and likely from here we'll see a rapid recovery. Whatever, we'll slowly build back up. It might be late March before we're back at these prices or higher. It might be mid-March. I don't know, but I do expect that we're going to go lower here. We'll probably dump going into the end of February, and we will also probably dump going into the beginning of March. That's what I wouldn't be surprised with. I wouldn't be surprised if here by the end of February we broke through this zone. We're lower. We still probably had a higher low, and then the beginning of March we make that final plunge down. We get that slightly lower low, and then we spend the rest of March recovering. And then April might be a good month, and then May will likely be the month where we start to come back down. I don't know. It might look exactly like this. It might look. It's probably going to look completely different than this, but that's just the idea as far as time frame goes. Going into the end of the month, dump. Going into the beginning of February or of March, we dump too, but then we recover for the rest of March. March will probably be green, and as will April. And then May or June will likely be the time frame that we commence this final descent into darkness for our bear market, where we very well could see prices that are below 50K. Certainly below 60K, though. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your kids. Take care of your animals. Take care of your plants. They need water. I gotta water mine, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.